So, I have decided to do sort of it's gonna be an odd day in the life type video. I am gonna do the methods that I use for studying, and I'm gonna do it once. Pretty much what it's gonna be is the different types of books that I use. Currently I am studying mainly grammar and kanji. The beginning of every year is usually how it goes, and then as I progress, obviously I do my own readings, and as the year progresses it changes from like the English textbook grammar to the Japanese kids 4th grade at the moment, 4th grade level grammar books. So I'm going to kind of show you roughly what I do every day, once a month for the next year. So I can kind of show you how it's different every year and it changes every month. So this is kind of just a intro into that. And maybe I won't go through, it probably won't be the full year, because usually about October, November, I have finished everything. So the last months of the year, I usually work on reviewing my kanji for the year, and I also work on new material for the next year. It's usually what ends up happening. So this is day 1, which is actually, it's almost 2 in the morning right now, and it is it's January 27th and a Friday. The Kanken game, I do 1 test every day. Let me show you. So currently, at the moment, I have about, it says 13% completion of the level I am working on. And so far this month, I have completed every day, and that's today, January 27th, Friday of 2017. So let's do my test. And there you have it. There is my completion for the day. So I'm about ready to go to bed. So hey everyone, it's right before bed. It's about 2 at night, and this is usually what I do right before I take a manga of any kind. Right now I'm working on the Reborn series, and I try to read and translate it. And I just do this just for fun, and it gives me practice at night. So this is the page I am on right at the moment. So I'm sorry for the poor lighting. So as you can see, it gives you a lot of times I do see new grammar that I had learned either the previous day or the previous week in here, and I just go through and just read the chapters, and it's nothing special, but this is usually what I do at the end of the night. So I'll read a novel or a manga just to give me a little bit of practice and such. But yeah, it's the one I was this is the one I'm reading at the moment. So the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, I have laid out my kanji the previous night. Do my one kanji a day. So this is the next one, which kind of means to bind or to connect. And this is the one I'll be doing. I already pre-made the card, so I just need to fill it out. And then I put it in my ring. And then I take this with me to work, because I work every day, but Monday and Tuesday are the days I have off. So I work full time, so I just bring these with me, and throughout the day I go through these. And over here I have my notebook to write the kanji in after I made my flashcard. And then after I get done with my flashcards, then I work on my grammar. So how I do it is, currently I am working on chapter 4, Tobira. I usually currently I'm on chapter 4, Tobira. I've already completed chapter 4 in the intermediate Japanese. And what I do is I go through and I have my grammar notebook, which is this one. And then I have my writing notebook, which is this one. This one has the other items in it that I had shown in a previous video. And I will be showing you this a little closer as I get closer to after I get done with my kanji, I'll go through the grammar, write down the grammar, put it in my notebook, and then I'll go through the dialogue, the readings, and the new words, and put those in my other notebook. Eventually I do plan on filling these out for the grammar. I have one for intermediate and one for Tobira, but I'm going to have to mix them up because I mixed up my grammar notes so that they're consistent with each other and they make sense in my notebook. So I just put all my grammar notes together. Kept all the other notes separate. And then I do this about 3 times, I think, a week. Currently I'm on page 141, so I'm almost done. I probably only have about 30 pages left of this. And I do a writing out of this book. So, like I said, about 3 times a week I do one. So the last time I did one was the 24th. So I probably will do one today. And I just do a writing from my science book. Work, and I'm about ready to kind of finish up my day. I wanted to kind of go over a little bit of how I do my grammar notes. Just a little quick review. I'm not going to go over it in too much detail because I will be doing a review on the 2 textbooks. I have the intermediate Japanese book, which I believe is a pretty old book. I believe there's a new edition out by now. This one, it's the ISBN number, if you can see it. And then I also use the Tobira, which is a widely known Japanese textbook. And the ISBN number. So far, between the 2 books, I much prefer the Tobira to the intermediate. It might change, but there's less grammar, less grammar in this book compared to Tobira. But what I pretty much do is I have both textbooks, and it's pretty much like any textbook. They're pretty similar in the layout. So, and they give you culture notes, which I've read a few of them. They're not really too... The ones in this book aren't really that interesting to me. Most of them are pretty... like, stuff I already know, pretty much, so far. So I've only read 1 through 4. And then they give you, it says, Fukushuyo no kanji. So it gives you kanji to review. However, I do not use this to study kanji. Most of the kanji on here, I do already know. As you can see it, I study kind of like the kanken level, as I've come to realize. So I usually just ignore it. It's in both books. They have a kanji review for each chapter, which I don't do. And then they have the pronunciation for the kanji on that side. And then we have kaiwa. Both books have kaiwa. So I'll show you my textbook, but I copy each kaiwa down. So there's 3 on this one. I think there's 3 in each chapter. Yomimono, this book has, I believe there's another long yomimono. I'm not 100% certain if it's that or this book, but here's the yomimono. And then you have the tango for the kaiwa, and at the bottom for 1, 2, and 3, and then yomimono at the bottom. So I just highlight the ones that I don't know. And then I write them in my notes. And then we have, again, kanji desu. So another kanji. Sometimes they give you little kanji tips at the bottom. And then we have bunpo. This is the part that I'm more interested in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 kanji, 12 grammar points that they're teaching you in this. And then they have bunpo renshu, which I kind of look over it, but I don't really do it. So they give you renshu, and then we have more extra practice. And we have kaku renshu, so there's a practice for writing, kiki tori renshu. I don't have, there might either be a website or something that kind of corresponds with this. Same with this book. There's supposedly a website with this, but I have looked it up many times and I never can find it. It keeps saying that it's an invalid URL, so unfortunately, I haven't been able to use the mixed media, the content and multimedia. I haven't been able to use the website on Tobira. I was really excited because they have a lot of audio. So that, yeah. And then they have the little short reader at the end, which I also copy down. So I just copy down and I look up the words. It's pretty much the same as my science books. And then it goes on to the next chapter. Tobira is pretty much the same layout. Yeah, Tobira. So you find, see here it talks about the net that shows you how to get in the exact web address and stuff for the multimedia that is with Tobira. But I haven't been able to find it. The URL doesn't work anymore. So they have Language Partner Online and stuff like that, and I was really excited when I saw it. This book isn't that old. I don't know why it won't work. But there's like the address. So sad. Anyway. Chapter 1. Nihon no Chiri. So chapter 1. It just says, Honbu no yomu mae ni. So, it just kind of gives you a couple questions and stuff, and you can answer it if you want to. And then they give you some vocabulary from the questionnaire thingy right next to it. And then we have the first reader. Everything that's highlighted is grammar that you learn in this chapter. That's why. Then we have tango. Tango hyo. So we have the new language, the new vocabulary chart. And then we have kaiwa. And sometimes they have little snippets of things. And then we have another kaiwa. And then we have the tango hyo as well. It's a little bit longer. And excuse me. And then we have questions for the yomimono that was before this. So questions. And this has relation to Well, it says, pair work and role play. So pair work, role play stuff. It's a textbook, so. And then we have the Bunpo Noto. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 grammar points. And then we have kanji hyo. So here's the kanji sheet. Teaches you a little bit about the kanji that's used in this chapter. And then we have a little quick read, which is the same as the other. And then some aisatsu to fira to yogen. So it's looking at aisatsu, which is greeting, and filler is like it's like saying in English. It's just filler to help fill your sentences. So they have things like that in here, and then it moves on to the next chapter. So what I pretty much do is I go through the grammar first, which is what I'm working on still with this. I have a few more to go down. And then I take the grammar. I have a grammar notebook, which I'm trying to be careful, because I have pages that haven't been put into my grammar notebook yet. I've worked on. These ones were worked on last night. This one was done this morning. So that's what they usually look like. I just do plain sheets. And I use the wide rule to kind of help make everything not look so scrunched together. So I use the wide rule so everything looks a lot more organized. And I use this. I don't want to show you my address, but this is my grammar notebook. It says I'll be using this. This is the Mokuji. And I have this, which I haven't filled out quite yet. I've got some of the bottom filled out because I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to organize this yet. So I don't have it filled out. But pretty much I have kind of a system. It's not very good, but there is all of my grammar notes thus far. And I'll go through this once I've completed it and actually have everything filled out. But this is pretty much what it looks like. So I will go through that eventually. And then after I finish the grammar, I come back to this binder, which is the one you've already seen. The grammar was filling this up too fast, so I had to get a second grammar notebook, which is fine. That's the kind of the way I had to do it with Genki as well. So the beginning you've probably already seen. The little breakdown, the color coded. The blue is tango, vocabulary. The green is dialogue, kaiwa, and the orange is yomimono, which is the readings. So this first one, you have to kind of look up here, the top. There's a little tab. It says tobira. So these are the vocabulary for tobira. So as you can see, I haven't gotten to number 4 yet because I'm on number 4. This one's the intermediate. And I date everything. And then we have kaiwa. This is the intermediate. And then kaiwa for tobira. And yomimono at the very end. This one is for tobira. So it's pretty simple. I use college rule for this stuff because there's a lot more to write. And then the little short reads at the end of tobira. And the intermediate yomimono. So see, it does. Oh, and then I wrote that one out. No sankyo. I wrote them out in different colors just because I was bored, so I didn't want to use this pen. It's all running out of ink, so I do need to get more. These are my favorite pens, but so that is what my grammar notebook is. My day pretty much starts at night. About midnight to 1 in the morning, I start my day by doing a test with the Kanken Nintendo DS. I do a completion test, or I complete a test every day, and that's usually my start of the day. and then I do a little bit of reading before bed, and then when I wake up I do grammar, I do readings, and I do kanji. And then how much ever time I have in that space before work. And then during work, all I do is review my kanji flashcards, and sometimes I'll bring a reader, but very rarely. And then right now, after work, I do the same thing. I finish my grammar, finish the readings, and then I go to bed. Starts all over again. So yeah, that is pretty much my day so far. Every day, I have 2 days off every week, so those days are usually filled with catching up on grammar, doing extra readings, trying to get through with the science book before I can move on to my novel. Yeah, so far, I don't usually start my shoto lessons, my calligraphy lessons, until mid-year. Then it's usually around that time that my lessons start getting slower, because usually I've completed grammar by then, and it is a lot, but I'm constantly reviewing my notes. Most of it isn't because, I'm not doing it so that I remember every single grammar point. It's more of a look back thing. Once the grammar notebook is done, I'll be taking it with me to bed every day and reviewing a couple of the grammar points every night. But it's really interesting because I've been seeing a lot of the grammar that I've learned recently, and a lot of the readings, the manga, the science, all the textbooks that I've been reading. I've been noticing a lot of familiar grammar. So that's the goal, pretty much. So, I'm going really fast. I'm not going to remember everything. It's just kind of like the kanji. It's all about learning it and then reviewing it over a period of time. And then you learn it. That's pretty much how I study it. And eventually I will be working on the flashcards. So once I get my grammar done, I will be starting a ring flashcards for my grammar notes, but I want my notes to be completed before I start on these. So that will also count as a sort of review. So that is it for this month. And I will see you guys February 27th, around there, and show you if anything has changed with my study plans at that time. I don't think it will, except I'll be working on the novel by that time. Other than that, it should still be the same. Still be working on grammar. But yeah, so I will see you guys next month. Sorry about the darkness. See you next month. See you next month. The goats. And then that usually completes my wow. That's it. So yeah, after I finish this, then that pretty much completes my day. So I will see you next month. I'll see you in February. So I'll see you in February. Cool. So I'll see you in February. Oyasumi. Oyasumi.